Hey everybody, welcome back to Wrestle Pop.
All right, guys. So you're sitting at home. There's no job. Well, because of the shutdown.
There's a digging doxy in your living room, maybe?
Yeah. So we got a dog who's digging, and you're bored. There's not much, on television. There's no YouTubers, right? Like with a lot of good stuff going on. So we
Except
figured.
us, right?
Well, except us. So. Already this is kind of starting out like a botch.
Yep.
So we're gonna do the top 25 botched wrestling moves of all time, and we figured we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do it the only way a countdown like this should be done, and that is a total botch.
Yep.
So it's gonna be a shit show.
Yep.
It's gonna be a mess. It's gonna be entertaining. So we're gonna kind of entertain you. Let us know what you guys think in the comments section. What do you think about our countdown, all right?
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. All right, so we're going to do the top 25.
Yep.
But, all right, so in order for us to do it, and we got to make sure this is like a shit show, we got to have some Scotch whiskey.
Yep.
So we're going to have some Scotch whiskey. Now, we are total wrestling, marks, so we can't just drink it like Stone Cold, right? Straight up.
I totally could. Are you a mark?
Yes. So we have to add some soda to it.
Diet soda at that.
Yeah. Didn't spill any, right?
Nope.
All right, guys.
Starting off good.
Yeah, I put a lot of soda in there.
Yeah, you did. Yours is gonna have like none compared to mine.
No, I was able to
Oh, okay.
have an equal amount. So,
All right.
all right, so
Didn't botch that.
smells
Cheers.
very strong.
Yes, it does.
We figured
Tastes
this
strong.
countdown will be much better than watching live wrestling.
With no audience.
Yeah, because it's pretty damn boring. Actually, no, it's not been live. It's been taped.
Yeah.
But it's been very, very boring.
Well, and I think it's back to live now, but
Yeah.
I mean, what's the point?
So we have two dogs in the background rolling around. So hopefully they don't like knock down like a light or something.
Yep.
We got our baby over here. He's playing
Crinkling a toy.
so he's playing with this toys. So it's gonna be a little bit of a crazy little thing.
Yeah. This
Our-
is starting off good.
Yeah, our dog has been known to like mess around with the lights
Yep.
and also the camera. So I'm hoping things don't go out of control. All right, guys. So this is like the top 25 wrestling botches, but it's only going to be in the WWE. So it can be WCW, ECW, or WWE, right? Because it's all one thing now.
Yeah.
We're not going to do AEW because, they're still new. I figure we'll give them some time.
Yeah.
And so it'll be interesting.
All right. So we said that at the same time. Number
Yeah.
25.
All right, number 25 is going to be kind of a shocker, right? So number 25, of course, you guys probably think this would be like closer to number 1.
Yeah.
But number 25 is the infamous Owen Hart Stone Cold botch. And that's when Owen Hart tried to give Stone Cold a pile driver.
Somebody's very, very excited about this countdown.
Yeah, so this one was very like infamous because Owen, I don't know what he was doing with this one. He if you watch this,
Yeah.
he just like dropped him.
Yeah.
Stone Cold, he said that he like for a few minutes couldn't actually feel anything. He went numb, and what ended up happening with this one is that Stone Cold told the referee, "Hey man, buy me some time so I can kind of get my my feelings and my bearings exactly." So Owen Hart was around the ring, just walking around celebrating and stuff. Stone Cold lay there. He wasn't able to like feel anything below his neck, and he thought he was paralyzed. And interesting thing is, right before this match, Stone Cold actually talked to Owen and said, "Hey Owen, you know how to do this, right? You're gonna like not like
Botch it.
Yeah, like drop me on my head." And he said he was gonna do it the way he did it, like drop him. But Stone Cold thought he was just joking, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
the way he did it, I mean, I'm to this day, I don't really get exactly why he did what he did.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's fascinating about this is that Stone Cold said that he went to the hospital after this, and everything turned out, they said, he wasn't paralyzed. He obviously, they thought maybe he had a splinter, or what do you call it,
a fracture.
I don't know exactly what they call it.
Something.
But I don't remember exactly the story now. But Stone Cold said that he ended up getting a ride from wrestling groupies back to his hotel room.
Wow.
Yeah, so imagine that, right? This happens to you, and then you think the WWE would have a crew to take you to the hospital or something like that, right? But no, not at all. It's kind of a shock incident.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think about this?
I mean, it hurts to watch it.
To watch it, right?
Yeah, it hurts my neck. I'm like, oh my God. Honestly, I don't know how these people, go out there every night and put themselves in these situations, because you're really putting your life in someone else's hands. I couldn't do it.
It's moves like this when I'm thinking of if I ever think, oh yeah, get into wrestling. I always think of incidents like this where I'm like, you know what? It's not really worth it, man.
Yeah.
Because you know what? It's basically choreographed, right? It's it's not like a real fight, and so you're doing all kinds of crazy moves, and I couldn't handle it. The risk, I could not take on that risk of something going wrong.
Yeah.
So that's number 25, and that is the Owen Hart Stone Cold pile driver. So I don't think this list really is going to be anything it's not going to be just a funny one, but funny screw ups, right? It's going to be more
serious.
Serious
botches.
Serious and funny.
Yeah.
Right?
But a mix.
Yeah, it's a mix, yeah.
It's not all fun and games.
Yeah, so the next one is the number 24. It is when Shawn Michaels was thrown out the ring by The Undertaker, and he hits what is it?
He hits the edge of the casket with his back.
Yeah, exactly. And supposedly he hurt his back. It was a serious injury where, he would complain about it for a while, and then finally he would use this as an excuse to retire. And he was gone for several years.
Yeah.
And he actually disappeared after the Mike Tyson match. Now, interesting thing about this is that Vince was still paying him, I believe, I think it was $14,000 a week.
Wow.
Yeah, for 3-4 years. Because he said he was done with wrestling, but he was still under contract with the WWE. And Jim Ross said that he was still paying Shawn Michaels for several years. I think it was $14,000 a week.
Wow.
So you do the math, $14,000, times 52 weeks, right? So that was a lot of money.
Yeah.
And JR couldn't believe it, this was kind of still being paid out to a guy who's not even wrestling for you anymore. But I think what it was that Vince did not want to lose Shawn Michaels, where, Shawn Michaels maybe was let go or whatever, because he'd retired. And so what ended up happening was then that would lead to him being basically a free agent. He could go work at WCW. So what do you think about this move?
I mean... listen, we're just gonna have to pause or something because about what the fucking game plan is.
Okay, guys, so number 24.
You can't talk whenever I'm still sitting there screaming.
Number 24, guys.
Do it again.
All right, so what do you think about this?
Yeah, it looks like it hurt really bad. I can't believe that, they botched it that bad.
Yeah, and keep in mind, this is during the time when wrestling was really, really hurting financially. And so Shawn was one of the top guys, and I don't know, when I see this move, it's another one of those moves where I'm just thinking to myself, why would they do some of these moves right back in the day? Nobody really cared, these kind of moves where whether it's throwing them outside the ring or over the casket. I always felt why not just be safe about it, right?
Yeah, it's almost too much showmanship.
Yeah, too much, exactly. It's way too much, unnecessary. So he ended up retiring. Vince paid him because he didn't want him to lose Shawn Michaels, because if he's no longer employed by the WWE, he's a free agent. He can come out of retirement and go work for WCW. So that's what he ended up doing. Just paying him $15,000 to sit at home. A week.
That's crazy.
$15,000 a week, which is a lot of money. Now, like, it could be technically like $13,000 or something like that, but I remember it was a lot of money. So let's do the math here. At $13,000, now where is my freaking calculator? You got it? Oh, I have it here.
No.
So let's just say it's $13,000, right? It's 13,000 times 52. So he was paying him like $676,000 a year.
Yeah. It's almost $250,000 just to sit on his butt.
Yeah, just sit, just to not lose the guy, right?
And that was also in that time period's money.
I think it was like 98.
Yeah, so it's probably over $1 million in today's money.
Yeah. So it was a lot of money. All right, guys. So number 23, and that was
Neville versus his own ankle.
Yeah. So he was wrestling Chris Jericho, and looks like what's going on here.
He tried to slide between his legs like a baseball slide or whatever, and his ankle or his foot caught on the mat, and his ankle stopped him while he was still trying to push himself through the leg, so it kind of rolled up under him.
Now, what's funny about this is that this is during the era when Chris Jericho was wearing like the underwear, underwear tights. And he kind of like, what do you think about like Jericho in that?
I mean, well, it makes him look very short.
Yeah.
Like, because the boots come up so high, and then he's got the tiny little underwear, and he has kind of a little bit of a paunch going on. It's not a good look.
A dad bod.
Yeah, it's a dad bod.
Now, here's the deal. Apparently, Jericho was wearing like lifts.
Oh, really?
Now, I don't know back then.
You know what? You can tell. If you look, yeah, it does look like he is.
Yeah, because I know when he first came to the WWE, he said he was wearing lifts because, you know, it was considered the land of giants. And then here's little Chris Jericho, right?
Yeah.
So he was a little self-conscious. So he wore, like, I think he gave him a couple inches. And looks like he might be wearing that here, right? Like,
it does.
It just, the boots look weird.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the giveaway, is the boots look weird.
Yeah, he's got the dad bod. And, I mean, it's totally understandable because he's up there in age. So, you know, he's wrestling, but he's still, you know, age is catching up with him, right? Gravity. He's developing his, like, you know, dad bod.
Yeah, exactly.
I have to hand it to him. He's got the guts to, like, wear the stuff and go out there. Not something that I would want to do.
Literally has the gut to it.
Yeah, because I got the a body more like Husky Harris. But, yeah, so, like, Neville, man, he messed up his knee. Or his ankle. Yeah. And I didn't even notice.
No, I didn't either. Like, you have to really look at it very closely to see it.
Yeah, it's like hard to even watch it, man, because I can't notice anything.
Yeah, it's because the camera like changes away to a different angle like as soon as it happens.
Neville now is at AEW. I think he was smart of him to leave, right? Because he didn't really do anything for me when he was at the WWE.
I mean, he came off as like an angry little guy.
Yeah, dude, he had those big ears, so he came off like an angry leprechaun.
Oh, I was thinking Dumbo.
Well, that one too. But me personally, I like him with this little accent in his like leprechaun ear with the, you know. But I always thought maybe like if he stayed a little bit longer, he could have been like an angry leprechaun character, right?
Yeah,
like,
and you know Vince would have probably done that eventually too.
His manager would be Hornswoggle.
Yeah.
So that was like what, number
23.
23. So number
22 is Enzo and Cass versus the Vaudevillains.
Now remember this one? He actually got thrown, and it was like he got a concussion.
Yeah.
He went to the hospital.
He got knocked all the way out.
Yeah. This was a pretty nasty one, man.
And again, it happens so fast that it's hard to really see like what happens, but his whole face just like hits the what do you call it, the rope?
Yeah.
And knocks him out.
Honestly, like this kind of goes to show you how green Enzo was, because he, like, you know, even like he admits when he talks about like on podcasts that he wasn't really like a wrestler. He he didn't know, like, he wasn't that good of a wrestler. He would kind of fake it, right?
Yeah.
He knew he had mic skills, and he would kind of just get by with that, and then he would let big cats wrestle. And this kind of shows that, because this is like, when you watch it, you're like, dude, what are you doing, man?
Yeah, exactly.
Because, like, this is one of those moves where, like this was set up wrong, where you just kind of have to go through one of the top ropes, right? Either the middle one or like just the top, kind of like adjust.
Yeah, exactly. And the other guy, one of the vaudevillains, just seems to be like, what do I do? He's just kind of standing there like, I don't know what to do now.
Now, this guy, what's his name? Oh, Simon Gotch. He's actually from Chicago.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I liked the vaudevillains. I thought the gimmick was very goofy, but I loved it. And it was a shame that they broke up.
Yeah.
Because I think it would have got over as very, like, big-time heels or something like that. What'd you think about them?
I did not like them, just out of purely not liking the gimmick.
Yeah.
It was just weird to me. I didn't like the old-timey,
I'm checking the time.
I didn't like the old-timey kind of feel to it. It just looked weird. I didn't like it.
I like it as long as, like, they don't try to pretend, right? Like, that it's not, like, I don't know. Like, I think if you get into your character, no matter how silly it is, you can get it over.
True.
I don't know. I think I would have loved if they did more with him.
Yeah, me too. Maybe something with a better gimmick.
Man, that is some strong alcohol. All right. So, all right, guys. So, next one up is
number 21, and that is John Cena really busting up his nose.
Oh, yeah, okay. I'm sorry. I was still on number 22.
Someone's been drinking too much already.
Yeah, now what do you think about this? Like, look at that nose.
Dude, I don't want to look at the nose. I've seen this, and I don't want to look at it, because every time that I see a broken nose, it grosses me out, like, terribly.
Yeah, so this was a really nasty one. This is when, on Raw, when, like, let's see here.
Seth Rollins.
Yeah, Seth Rollins, July 27th of 2015.
It was a knee to the face.
Yeah, dude. That was pretty nasty. Like, because I'm sure that hurt really bad. Like, that would kind of give you, like, kind of stun you for a while, man. You'd be seeing stars, and it would be a lot of pain. Cena actually, went through it, man.
Well, and it's like, I broke my nose before, and it was not a fun time, but my nose ended up, like, looking pretty normal for the most part, and it hurt so bad. So I can only imagine if his was, like, all the way off to the side, how bad that must have been.
This goes to show you, like, how awesome John Cena is, right? Because that's the kind of wrestler, it's going to be, like, main event, because he powered through it.
I don't know how.
And it was the beginning, I would say, of one of many wrestlers that Seth Rollins would injure, and then it would kind of, like, set off Bret Hart. Because a couple of years ago, Bret Hart said that Seth Rollins, because he actually retired Sting. That move that Nia Jax did, the buckle bomb?
Oh.
Yeah, he actually injured Sting and hurt his back.
Seth Rollins did.
Yeah, Seth Rollins.
Wow.
And made Sting retire.
That's messed up.
Because of it. And then on top of that, remember when, what's that guy's name? The Irish guy with the tight underwear?
Yeah. Sheamus?
No, the other one. The one who has the demon character.
Oh,
the name is escaping me right
Finn
now.
Balor.
Finn Balor. When he became the first Universal Champion, Seth Rollins did the same thing. And remember, he injured him.
And he was out for like a year, right?
Yep, exactly. Yeah, so that's the move, man. So Seth Rollins has, like, a history of injuring wrestlers.
Would you say that he is the female or the male Nia Jax?
Yeah, he is, man, unfortunately. Or Nia Jax is
the female him.
Yeah. It's pretty bad, but Seth Rollins is a good wrestler, right? So you can kind of forgive him.
Yeah.
Nia Jax, I feel like she's just reckless.
She is.
All right. So that was what?
That was 21.
21, all right.
Number 20 is from 96, Triple H and Marty Garner.
Now, what do you think about that one?
That looks like it hurt like hell.
This is what happens, guys, when you like want to be a wrestler, but you have no idea what the hell you're doing. So the pedigree can be a very like destructive move. And then this guy, freaking man,
Marty Garner.
Yeah, Marty Garner. Look at that. Like, that is just brutal.
Like, it just I mean, I don't know how he's not paralyzed because the head was just slammed directly into his neck, into his shoulders. Like,
yeah.
It's like he should be looking like No Neck Ed right now.
If you guys don't know who No Neck Ed is, he's from 90 Day Fiance. The dude is like got literally like no head, man.
No neck.
Yeah, no neck. I mean, yeah.
It's a head on shoulders.
Yeah, he's a freaking. Just watching this, man, like gives me chills because like.
Now, who did that wrong? Was it Marty that was in position wrong?
I think so.
Because I mean, it is Triple H's move, so he should know how to do it properly.
Right, exactly. Ooh. Triple H is pretty safe, you know. Like I think it's just like an incident when you have like a somebody who's green, right? Like, and he doesn't know what he's doing, and so he kind of just takes that move, and he botched it. Because like look at it. I almost feel like the guy jumped when Triple H, you know, like lifted him, right?
Yeah.
He kind of jumped with him, which I think kind of screwed it up.
Yeah, because he did seem to propel himself off.
Yeah, and that looks pretty bad. Now, what happened to him? Marty's legs went straight up in the air and his head went straight into the mat. Seeing how the botch nearly broke the guy's neck, Marty attempted to sue WWE for injury shortly afterward. Apparently, the claim was settled out of court.
Which is messed up, because, I mean, it seems like he's the one that created that situation, you know? And then he tried to sue for it.
So it goes to show you guys, if you're going to be in the wrestling business, you better know what the hell you're doing, man.
Yeah.
And I always believe if you're a wrestler, don't be doing, like, crazy moves, man. Right? Like, don't do anything crazy, because I would never let anybody do a pile driver on me, a power bomb,
a buckle bomb.
A buckle bomb, exactly. Like, I want all kinds of safe, you know, boring moves, right? I would be like more like a brawler. Never let anybody do like a Hurricane Kana, Hurricane Rana. I don't even know what it's called. Or like
whatever Hurricane one it is.
Yeah. Another move that I would never let anyone do on me is the Steiner screwdriver. If you guys ever seen that move or have never seen it, I would highly recommend you guys YouTube it because it's a freaking scary move. I would not let anybody do that on me. All right, guys. So that was number 20.
Yes. Number 19, we're moving over to the ladies.
And the ladies are superstars when it comes to botching because it's not the women's division, it's the botch division.
Yes. This one is Mickie James and Gail Kim from 11 years ago, 2009. And apparently just the entire match was botch after botch after botch.
Yeah, and so it's funny because Gail King, Kim, I mean, she's like you know, a big star in TNA. But I mean, Mickie James also, I feel like she's a big, you know, like a good wrestler, right? But two of them were obviously like, I don't know, both green back then, and it was a terrible match.
Yeah, apparently, botch number 1 was covered up by stating that she had blocked the move. I don't know who she is in that one.
Well,
Kim.
Yeah.
Gail Kim stood with her body straight as Mickie fought to get her to the ground. Number 2 is that Mickie immediately followed the failed DDT attempt with a swinging kick that didn't come anywhere near Gail Kim's face.
Now, this one I've showed you before. You probably don't remember it.
Yeah, I do. I remember it.
Remember? Yeah, because it was totally like nowhere near her face, man.
Yeah. And then botch number 3 is an upper arm punch that landed between Gail's chin and chest.
Yeah. So it was a pretty bad match, and it was another like sign of like why the women's division should just be called the botch division. I know it's like politically incorrect to say, and those girls try to do their best, man, but they try to wrestle like the guys, which the men are much more stronger, so you're able to do more like, you know, athletic like moves, right?
Yeah. He agrees.
Ladies, stick to what you know you can do. Yeah. Don't try to do some like moves that the guys are doing, right?
Exactly.
Because it's only going to turn into a botch. All right, guys. So number 18, and that is.
This is a burn. Sin Cara's entire career is number 18 on the list.
So Sin Cara was like a big, hyped up like wrestler when he debuted, and he was like a lucha, which basically means like a Mexican wrestler.
Yeah.
And he had he was supposed to be very high flying and all that, and he botched it from the beginning when he first entered. He was gonna enter the ring from like one of those bouncing things, with trampolines.
Oh, God.
You know how they have like basketball shows, where they jump on and they slam dunk. So he was supposed to jump on one of those from the outside of the ring, and then
whose idea was that?
God knows, man. But he was supposed to jump on it and then roll into the ring, and he of course got stuck on the rope when he was coming over. So he botched his first entrance, and then his career, he was hyped up to be something, but he kept botching and botching and botching. And then I think they kind of realized that, man, we're not going to bother pushing him.
Yeah.
So, and I believe, I'm not sure, but I think there's been different guys under the mask since Vince.
Really?
Since Vince owns the rights to the name, just throw in a Mexican guy, right?
Wow, that's interesting. Now, that's a conspiracy theory, right?
I believe that's the case. I could be wrong here.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so next one, number 17.
Joey Mercury had his face rearranged.
Yeah, so what was this here? This was Mercury was at Armageddon 2006, and a bunch of wrestlers were in the middle of the ring. It was a ladder match.
Matt Hardy had Johnny Nitro and Joey Mercury positioned over the feet of a ladder, and Jeff Hardy jumped onto the top turnbuckle to hit the top of the balancing ladder, forcing the legs to slam into Nitro and Mercury's faces. Ouch.
Yeah, this one was really hard to watch, right? Because I could not imagine getting hit.
No, dude, whenever you hear about that stuff, like metal, hitting your face.
Yeah.
Tables, chairs, no way. Nope. Don't know how they do it.
Got a kid over here with his pacifier falling out, so.
He is not happy. He's anxious to hear what number 1 is. That's the problem.
Number 1 is going to be a good one, right?
Oh, is it?
We can only hope.
I hope so.
I agree, because I don't like ladder matches. I almost feel it's something you should be saving like once a year for a special thing. I don't think it should be a pay-per-view.
Yeah, exactly. And even whenever they're not necessarily always using it against each other, whenever it's like the Money in the Bank one or whatever, where they're climbing the ladder, dude, it's so annoying to watch them climb up the ladder at the same time, and you can tell that they're waiting for each other, and then it's okay, now I have to wait for you to dethrone me off of this ladder. It's so annoying.
Yeah.
Because they could shimmy up that ladder a lot quicker if they wanted to.
Super, super annoying.
Yes.
So that was what,
that was 17.
Yeah, 17. The alcohol is really kicking, man.
Yep.
I made it a little too strong.
Well, tis what tis.
And guys, it's not even the sun hasn't even gone down, so.
No, but it is past 5 o'clock.
Yeah, it is past 5, but by the time we're done with this, it's gonna be a long night.
So number 16, one of our favorite people to talk about. I think we've done several videos on him, right?
That's right, CM Punk.
And he won, but not really.
Yep, and that was when he was wrestling Jack Swagger and what's his name? Vicky Guerrero, Dolph Ziggler, and John Laurinaitis were hanging out outside the ring. And what happened here? So
blah blah blah, bloody blah blah. This article is very wordy.
Yeah, so apparently the wrestlers had pre-planned the match, but the referee was not told. And so in particular, the referee was either
okay, so it was supposed to end in a kick out, which it did, but the ref did not notice that he had kicked out and ended up saying that Punk won whenever he shouldn't have won.
So once again, it was a show in wrestling.
Yep.
It was pretty entertaining, though. I remember this, but you know what? Jack Swagger, he's doing really great in AEW, but here I just thought he was okay, right?
I didn't particularly like him.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think he's not a bad-looking guy, right? But the match was kind of boring.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting thing is that before CM Punk became a superstar, I knew him. I was in.
I love how I knew him.
Yeah,
that sounds like Speed Stick by Menon.
I wasn't friends with him.
Knew him.
He used to shop at the supplement store that my friend owned, and so he would come in, and at that point he was like an indie wrestler, like, you know, never like thought much of it, because, you know, he's just another one of the wrestlers that came in, because I knew like what's his name, the Great Khali's cousin, you know, he would come in, and of course he didn't, like, you know, become anything because he had like a regular job, and so CM Punk would come in every now and then, didn't think much of it. Apparently Triple H came there one time when me and my buddy actually had closed up and we were gone, and so apparently one of the guys, the trainers from the gym nearby, brought Triple H, since they knew that my buddy was a big wrestling fan. We missed out on meeting Triple H, and this is back when Triple H was a wrestler, right? So now before, like, this is all before he became an executive.
Yeah.
So that would have been very cool, right?
Yeah.
Could have asked him about, like, Vince. Maybe ask him if we can, like, show up to the Allstate Arena, meet the wrestlers, you know, backstage.
Yeah.
All that kind of
like
stuff.
Right in our backyard.
Yeah, Allstate Arena is very close by. We live in Chicago, so it would have been very close. So it would have been awesome, man, because I could have met some of these guys. But who would have thought CM Punk would have gone on to become the biggest thing in wrestling, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Note to self, if you ever meet indie wrestlers, befriend them. They one day might become somebody big.
Yeah.
All right. So now next one. All right, guys. So on to the next one. What is it?
Number 15. And this is when in 2008, Triple H, again, we're just talking about him, and Randy Orton had an Over the Limit pay-per-view. I feel like I'm over the limit right now. And he apparently got thrown out of the ring over the top ropes and landed right on his shoulder that had already been injured.
Yeah. This one looks pretty rough.
Yeah. Because he just tossed him like a little ragdoll.
That's right, guys. He just threw him. This was an accident, of course, but Randy's shoulder was already a little...
Yeah, it was a little messed up. And then a few months later, he re-broke his collarbone in a motorcycle accident. So he is... what's that guy from that one movie that breaks his bones all the time? Samuel L. Jackson?
Yeah. You know, the guy from...
Bruce Willis?
Yeah, Bruce Willis movie.
M. Night Shyamalan?
Shattered, broken.
Shattered glass.
Glass. Something like that. Well, Glass and the other one. I forget the one before that.
Unbreakable.
Unbreakable, there you go. I was thinking Wolverine.
Oh,
you know,
okay.
Kind of gets, like, injured all the time and then heals up.
Yeah, true. Okay,
gets hurt. I don't know. That was, like, all the same, right? So, number 14. This one's a great one because this was when Batista and John Cena at the Royal Rumble, they accidentally threw each other out.
Yep.
And apparently, who was supposed to win here?
I think it was maybe supposed to be Batista.
Yeah.
I think he was supposed to win. And then he ended up throwing himself out, kind of. So then,
I believe
there was no winner.
I believe this is the one where, like, they both threw each other out, and then one of the writers came out and said this was, like, you know, what happened is that they were going to redo it again. I think this is when Vince actually broke his tore his quads.
Oh.
When, you know, because remember when Vince came out?
Yeah.
I think this is the incident.
He came out guns blazing.
Yeah, I think this was the incident where he got pissed. And he was like, just screaming and worked himself into a shoot. And next thing you know, he broke both his quads, or tore his quads. And he still sat there and he didn't sell it, which was the great thing about Vince.
I love that he just sat there like he was just sitting there like a little toy or something.
Yeah, he was like, go on with the show, right? And I think this is it, man. Like, this doesn't mention him breaking his quad or tearing his quads here.
Well, if it wasn't part of that, that's a great, little moment in wrestling history.
That's kind of why, like, man, you have to be real careful when you want to do that kind of, like, that close of, like, an elimination.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And one of the writers later came out and said that it was not scripted that way and that it was just a botch.
All right, guys. So next one.
Number 13. And this one is Brock Lesnar's famous shooting star press botch.
This one's really famous because Brock almost broke his neck.
Oof.
Yeah, when you watch this thing, you want to be like to Brock, you know how far you are.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, if you stand up on top of that ring post and you realize, you know what, I'm a little too far from, like, where I usually, like, land.
Yep.
Let me just do like a flying elbow or something like that, right? Let me just not do the shooting star press. But obviously Brock Lesnar was new to the industry. He was, I would still consider him green, even though this might have been like him wrestling for a couple of years, right? And he just almost damn near broke his neck, man. This was a really, like, tough one to watch.
Yeah. Well, and I'm just thinking, like, I wonder if stuff like this is why he kind of just dances around the ring nowadays and doesn't really do a whole hell of a lot.
It's because Vince pays him a lot of money, and Vince kind of, like, just lets him get away with it, man.
Yeah.
Because this is also when Brock Lesnar was much leaner.
Yeah, I was going to say, it doesn't even look like him because he's so thin. I mean, not like thin.
Lean.
But lean, yeah.
Yeah, he was lean. Because now he looks like, he's still, like, in shape.
Yeah.
But he's kind of like...
he's got some bulk on him.
Yeah, I feel like he's, eating a little too much. Not like... he's not as careful with his diet.
Yeah, exactly. I wonder if Sable is making him some, like, pioneer woman recipes.
I don't think Sable is the type of woman that cooks, man.
You don't think so?
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean,
well, they live in the middle of nowhere. They've got to be cooking.
Well, I would imagine this guy's eating steak and potatoes every day.
Yeah,
so it can't be that hard to cook, right?
True.
'Cause I don't think Brock Lesnar is eating cake, right? Or, like, pie or anything.
Little
like
Debbie's.
Yeah, Little Debbie's. I don't think that this dude, I think, is just he's a farmer. He grew up on meat and potatoes, right? So, like, I don't think this dude's eating anything like... I don't look at this guy as a guy who eats sushi, right?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. All right, guys. So next one is, and it is number 12, and it is Sami Zayn and the Laws of Gravity. Now, this one is, I actually have to give it to him because he was trying to do, like, a very, like, fancy move.
Yeah.
Now,
and you know what? It doesn't necessarily look like a complete botch at first. You're like, okay, wow, he's going for something here. And then it just kind of goes a little sideways.
Yeah, so this was like the July 24th, 2016 match versus Kevin Owens, yeah. So, they've been wrestling each other for, like, years and years.
Yeah.
They go back to the indies together. And so I'm sure he felt comfortable enough with Kevin Owens that he felt that he could do this, right?
Yeah.
And if it would have worked, this would have been a really cool move.
Exactly. It would have been cool looking because at first I'm watching it and I'm like, oh wow, like he's really going for something different there,
Yeah.
The only part that, whenever he flips around, his shoulder hits the edge of the mat,
Yeah.
If that hadn't happened, it would have turned out pretty good.
Yeah, so, like, if you guys don't know, because we never mentioned it, so this list is from the Sportster.com.
Yeah.
The top 25 wrestling botches in WWE history.
Yeah, exactly. And you can go and see, like, all of the little GIFs that we're looking at on there. So you can kind of see how they go. But I would just like to point out, while we're talking about Kevin Owens, I feel like
his shorts.
No, you know what? I don't mind his shorts that much. I really don't like Samoa Joe shorts, but his body, he's a bowling ball. Like, he's shaped like a bowling ball.
This is something that you and Jim Cornette would agree on.
Really?
Because back in the day when he was working for Ring of Honor, Jim Cornette actually told him he was never going to become a big star because he, like, he's overweight and the way he dressed. And of course, he proved Jim Cornette wrong. But I mean, a lot of people do have criticize Kevin Owens for his attire and his weight and all that stuff.
Well, it's just funny because he does that one move where he kind of like cannonballs into somebody, and I mean, I'm like, dude, he's literally a bowling ball whenever he does that. Like, he's a human bowling ball.
But he moves good for a big man.
He does. He does move good for a big man. It's just so weird, like, because it's all in his belly. Like he's like a 9 months pregnant man.
I personally like the character. I think it works for him. He's gotten it over.
I would agree. Like I don't entirely dislike him. I just feel like his body is so weirdly shaped for being a wrestler.
It's modern wrestling, man.
I guess so.
You got to accept it, right? I mean, I think it's good because like anybody can become a wrestler. Like if you love the sport of wrestling, anybody can become a wrestler. So it's good.
Exactly. But I mean, while we're talking about attire, just to throw this out there, is it just me or is it weird that what's his name?
Who?
The tall guy. The monster among men.
Oh, Braun Strowman?
Yes. His little singlet thingy that he wears, he's always like a centimeter away from a nip slip. Not that it would be that big of a deal with a guy, but it's like, it's always just skirting around the edges. It's so funny to me. I don't get it.
Well, dude, what about Big E?
Big E. You know what, though? I'll give it to him. He looks good in his, I feel like.
That dude's got a massive chest.
He is massive. And he's got those big thighs, too. I feel like that's what makes it work for him.
Yeah, it does.
Because Braun Strowman, though, he's wearing, like, the pants. Whereas Big E is more like kind of like a romper almost.
Yeah.
So Braun Strowman, he's wearing almost like a lady's bodysuit underneath his pants, and that's what makes it weird.
Now he's taken that thing off a couple of times.
Has he?
Yeah, he's definitely a dude with the weird nipples.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they're always like just covered up.
Yeah. It's pretty interesting. So like he will sometimes take it off. I haven't seen him doing it lately, so I think Vince might have like noticed and said, "Dude, you know what? You
Put those puppies away."
Yeah, you don't have the puppies for it, man. All right, so what are we at now? Number
11.
Yep, number 11.
And this is one of the Dudley boys.
This is a crazy one. I don't like, because if you've ever seen, if you've ever seen Spike Dudley,
yikes!
Even when he was in ECW, the dude was basically like just thrown around.
Well, I love that their list says Spied Dudley. I was wondering who that was.
Yeah, it's Spike Dudley. I don't know why
typo.
It's got to be a typo. Yeah. So this is what was the wrestling tag team here? La Resistance. They were wrestling Spike Dudley and they attacked the Dudley boys with the championship belts. Then they grabbed Spike Dudley and they were going to throw him through the table. And the table, I don't know why it was set up like this, but he was. And this goes back to what I'm saying about wrestling. I don't like this like hardcore kind of like stuff, right? The table was way too far. And like, honest to God, like, I don't know what they were thinking here.
Yeah, dude. They clearly didn't even throw him far enough either, because like if you're standing up there looking at it and you're like, okay, that table looks a little far, we need to like give him a push, but they just kind of put him over the ropes and dropped him.
This is one of those things, man, where if you know, oh my God, you know what, the table looks really far, we can't do it, you just got to put the guy down and like do another move.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, exactly. And like kind of distract until one of you can go out, move the table closer or something.
Yeah.
Because if you look, they like his legs barely even get over the rope. Like they kind of put his knees over the rope and just drop him. Like they don't even propel him at all.
Dude, because his head hit the mat.
And they hit the table on the way down.
Oh, really?
It bounced off the table on the way down. Watch that.
Even worse.
Yes, because the back of his neck like snapped off the table.
See, this is like really bad, man. Like, this is when I hate wrestling, right? Because like, you want to chew out those guys and say, dude, what did you think it was going to happen? You should have known when you looked that you can't throw them that far.
Exactly.
And when you think about where the table is, it's just like, everything about it was really bad.
Yeah. I don't know who thought that would be a good idea.
Yeah, watching this one really, really pisses me off. Especially knowing in ECW, they did the same kind of shit with him, where they would throw Spike Dudley into all these kind of like hardcore matches, and he was just kind of like a ragdoll, man. It wasn't like not fun to watch.
Yeah.
Now, interesting thing about Spike Dudley is he left wrestling. He's a high school teacher now.
Really?
Yeah, he's a high school teacher. So can you imagine this guy is like teaching your kids?
Well, and I wonder what his mental capacity is like after hitting that table.
Exactly, man.
Hopefully he's not teaching anything really important.
Yeah, obviously the guy was an intelligent person, and this is a classic example of where, like, even though these guys might be wrestlers, you'd be surprised what their intelligence is, right?
Yeah.
So there you go. So that was number 11, and
now we're going into the top 10.
Yeah. All right, guys. This is going to be the top 10.
I don't even know who this is.
It's Booker T and Chris Benoit.
Oh. Okay.
So Benoit is the guy we're not supposed to mention.
Yeah, he who must not be named.
Have you guys seen The Dark Side of the Ring?
Now, I'll say, because we watched that, I felt like that was okay and all, but I really liked the Chris Jericho podcast on it more than The Dark Side of the Ring.
So if you guys have never seen that one, Chris Jericho had, what was the name? Nancy Benoit's sister on his podcast. This is about, like, I think 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And she told her side of the story on, like, her perspective on everything, and it was very, very, like, creepy.
Dude, it gave me nightmares, like literal nightmares.
Yeah, because think about what Benoit did, man. And he, like, after doing what he did, he, like, hung out at the house for a while. I think, like, a day or two.
Yeah.
So pretty much, just to hear it was pretty creepy.
Yes, exactly.
And so when you watch this, right, and then you think about, oh my God, the stuff that Benoit went through in his career, like his, like, especially knowing what, like, we know now about his head, because they said it was like the brain of like an 80-year-old or something like that.
Yeah.
From all those bumps, it makes a lot of sense. And watching this one is a real nasty one.
Yeah.
Because it's Benoit and Booker T. And so Benoit, what he ends up doing is diving out of the ring. And dude, this is a very, Benoit's a short guy.
Yeah.
Right? And so he didn't go over the top rope. He's going through the top of the middle rope. And he's running and he just dives. And the dive is a move that I'm sick of in wrestling. I hate it. I wish Vince would ban it. Because every wrestler does it nowadays, the dive.
Yeah. And I love it whenever they're like diving out and there's like a group of them standing at the bottom, like just holding up their arms, waiting to be like bowled over by it.
It's like, if you want to be like you want to be different, you want to be like a risk taker in the wrestling business, don't do a dive, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you want to be innovative, don't do a dive, right? Like, people ask you, oh, how come you don't do the dive? Say, I don't believe in it, right? You're like I don't even know like how to describe it. It's like, I think you're a better wrestler for not doing it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's one of those like kind of easy out kind of things. Yeah. Everyone does it. But anyway, he dives out and goes directly into the like announce table thing and like hits it with the side of his like torso. Back. Yeah.
His back, torso.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Like kind of like the 3/4 angle.
And it's a full speed, man.
Yeah.
And like, I'm trying to watch this because the dude also like lands on his head. But it's like his neck is kind of like
his neck is like
bent
like this.
Yeah, so luckily he didn't land on his head, right? But he did land on on his head landed kind of like at a 90-degree angle.
Yeah, exactly. Right? With his chin more like toward his chest.
Yeah. So very, very nasty looking.
Let's stop it.
So that was really nasty. Number, what was it, 10?
Yeah, now we're at number 9.
Yeah, we're going to do number 9, guys. And this one is funny as hell because it's Kozlov. Do you guys remember Kozlov. He was like the Eastern European wrestler or whatever. He showed some potential. He struggled with the what do you call it? The All right, guys. So number 9 is Kozlov. You guys remember Kozlov, the Eastern European guy? He had some potential, but he wasn't like not really ready for prime time, right? The guy, he was wrestling Santino, and the guy was gonna try to like, I guess he was gonna get a clothesline out of the ring, but Kozlov, no, he was gonna like, what was it like?
Oh, this is Jimmy Uso. Because the thing, it played and then just went away, so I don't know what happened to it. Like, this one is...
Hold on, guys. We're going to have to get here, because this is a mess. All right.
My thing stopped playing.
Yeah, and I don't know why the website crashed for me.
It crashed for me, too.
All right. Let's do this again.
We told you that it would be a botch from start to finish, and here we are.
Yeah, I need a drink on this one because this is turning into a messed up. So basically, Kozlov, tried to like, he was supposed to dive and then go over the rope, right? The top rope. But somehow this fool got stuck on the top rope.
Yes.
And so then Santino comes to try to like clothesline him over.
It's Jimmy Uso.
Is it Jimmy Uso, really?
It's Jimmy Uso.
Wow.
I don't know where you got Santino from.
Well, I mean, this is Santino.
Well, this says Jimmy Uso.
Yeah, see.
It says he tries not once but twice. And 3 times.
Okay, look. So there's Santino, right?
Before Jimmy Uso finally gets him over.
Okay, there's Santino. And Kozlov is
now see,
coming
there
in.
he comes in.
Yeah.
There's Jimmy Uso.
So then, okay,
Can you guys tell them apart? Because I can't tell them apart, Jimmy and Jay.
Yeah, so Jimmy pulled the rope down. Kozlov was supposed to like go over it, but he got stuck in the rope somehow.
Yeah.
This fool. And so then he's like jumping to go over it. He's trying to like jump over himself, but for whatever reason he seems to not be able to do it, which is totally hilarious.
Well, he's not kicking off with his feet enough.
Yeah. And then Jimmy Uso, I guess, yeah, you're right. It's Jimmy Uso. He gets up and clotheslines him.
Yep.
And like finally throws him over, man. It was really like a botch.
Well, that's painful to watch because it's like, come on, dude, how many times can you be stuck on the rope?
It's one of those moments where you want to be like, Vince, stop getting guys who aren't ready, man.
Yes, exactly.
All right, guys, so number 8, and that is Randy Orton again. And this one is another class. You know what? Wasn't the last Randy Orton? No, that was over the top rope. This is when he was on the announce table. And you guys remember when the announce table had the holes in it?
Oh,
so he got his leg stuck in it. And this was against Kane.
Yeah.
And so he kicks Kane.
Well, his whole leg like goes through the hole too.
Yeah,
as soon as he kicks him.
This is like a really deep hole.
Well, that's hilarious. It's almost like a cartoon because he kicks him, and then as he puts his leg down, it just goes directly through the table, and then he flips over.
And it looks like a nasty botch, man.
Yeah.
Luckily, he didn't injure himself because just watching it, it looks like he could have like seriously hurt himself. Pretty bad. All right, so a dud of a double team. So number 7.
Dudley Boys again. And this one is Hell in a Cell from 2015.
Yeah, so what basically happened is Bubba Ray Dudley was holding Kofi Kingston horizontally, and Devon tried to jump up and leg drop Kofi Kingston. But Bubba refused to let Kofi go. It was only once Devon was done with the attempt when Bubba tossed Kofi to the ground. This botch was so bad that it immediately caused the crowd to erupt with boos while Big E stood from the corner yelling, "What was that?" Selling the botch or actually questioning what these guys were doing. We can only speculate. Now, the Dudleys are not known for botching, right? Like,
Yeah.
they're pretty good, man. This goes to show you, obviously, this is like early in like, you know, like the New Day kind of situation, right? Like, they were just kind of like doing what they do, man.
Yeah.
So
I love that Big E is just standing over there saying, "What was that?"
I think sometimes that's the way to handle it, right?
Yeah.
Because there was the time when I forget. I think it was it was Jericho versus Eddie Guerrero, and Jericho messed up, and then Eddie Guerrero just started laughing. You know, that's the only way you can do it, man.
Yeah. It's the reaction you didn't know you needed.
Yeah. All right, we're at 6 minutes here, so
For this clip.
yeah.
And we
So-
have 6 left on the list.
All right, and the next one is number 6.
Batista's random oversell, and my
Dude.
website has crashed again.
Here, this is awesome. This is classic. Watch this. This goes to show you, man. Like,
Oh my god.
like, thank goodness this is like not 1980s. Because if this happened in 1980, the old timers would have beat you up when you got back there.
Oh my god. Like, dude, the guy like kind of pushes him a little bit.
Mark
and then,
Henry.
Yeah, and then he like kind of takes a step back and then just goes like
He flies
flips
back.
back.
Yeah, he takes a flat back, like flying man. He just
Yeah,
like,
and you can see him like pushing himself off to do like what?
look, I get it. You're wrestling Mark Henry, who wasn't like the most gifted wrestler in the world, right? But this was just totally just bad.
Yes. I mean, dude, this reminds me of like if you're like fighting with your, like little brother or sister and you like barely touch them and they just like fall to the ground screaming, "Mom!"
Yeah. This is
that.
This is like Vince, fined Batista for like blading, right? Like $150,000 or something like that. Think about that, $150,000 or something, or $100,000 or something like that. Dude, for that move right there, he should have like fined him.
Yeah.
Forget the blading, that right there, because it was like, come on, dude, use common sense. Like, don't like fake something that the fans can clearly see, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So what's the next one?
I was just looking at the next one, trying to figure out what's going on, because this is the Bush herself. This is Jillian. Jillian, what's her name?
Yep, that's right.
Jillian Garcia.
Jillian Garcia. Apparently, Jillian.
Number 5 on the list.
Number 5. Apparently, Jillian has a big bush.
Mm-hmm.
X-Pac says that she's got a big bush.
Can anyone confirm?
How he knows that, I don't know. But maybe one of the girls in the women's locker room, told him that, right? It's like, oh my God, she was using the shower and she came out and she had a big bush.
Yeah. Well, and was it like a I think it was one of those YouTube videos, and the guy was like reading like the cards, and they're like, tell me which thing comes to your mind first.
Yeah.
And he's like, big bush.
Yes.
That's what I think of every time I think of Jillian Garcia.
What do you guys think about a girl with a big bush?
I don't got nothing to say about it.
Yeah. Jillian, man, I don't know if she really does. I think it's just one of those things that wrestlers kind of like spread it, right?
I could see that though. I could see that happening. I mean, she is of the older generation.
I would think she probably trims down there.
Yeah. Well, and maybe to some of these guys, a trim is equivalent to a big bush.
Yes.
Because they're so used to other things.
All right, now, next one, number 5.
Yeah.
Is Sheldon.
No. Sorry, we talked about Jillian's bush for so long that we didn't actually talk about her botch.
Oh, okay. So I guess she was wrestling Mickie James and Maurice, and she, like, well, I think what happened is that I blame this on Maurice.
Yeah.
Because Maurice, like, didn't get up. You
Yeah.
know, she just, like, lay there and then held the rope down.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
I think Jillian, not being a wrestler, she kind of, like, just was like, all right, well.
I guess I'm supposed to go through here?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very weird because, I mean, she's literally just sitting there holding it open, like inviting her to come through.
Yeah.
It's like one of those things where everyone's like standing down at the bottom waiting to be like, piled upon.
Man, I'm just glad Maurice is in wrestling, because watching this kind of reminds me of like some of the girls in the botch division.
Mm-hmm.
They are not that talented, man.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so that was what, number 5?
That was number 5. Number 4.
Number 4 is Sheldon Benjamin.
Shelton
Benjamin.
Mm-hmm.
When he he had a face plant against Jeff Hardy.
Yeah. He like slips off the top rope like it's like greased with Crisco or something.
Yeah. Dude, he was obviously trying to do like a fancy move.
Yeah.
And he just could not get it, man.
Mm-hmm.
I have to hand it to him. He tries to do something, it's like the move similar. It's kind of similar to what's his name? AJ Styles when he jumps off the rope. Yeah, it's a pretty bad one. Dude, like, landed on his face. The good thing is, man, when I watched this, this is another one of those moves could have been bad.
Yeah,
right?
At least Jeff Hardy was quick on his feet to kind of like recover and just be like, okay, I'm just gonna pin him.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, pretty rough.
Mm-hmm. Now, top 3, and we have a broken neck as a result of this botch. So who is this?
It's Brock Lesnar
and Hardcore Holly.
Yes. So now it's 2 guys who love to be very stiff in the ring, and they got into it, and then
woo! He dropped him right on his neck. Ooh. Yikes. Ugh. Now, see, I feel like, though, I mean, maybe you couldn't in that situation, but I feel like if you're being held that way and you feel yourself going down, would you not, like, try to, like, tuck your body up as opposed to just, like, staying downward? Because you can see his neck is just, he keeps it down. He doesn't, like, try to curl up.
This was once again when, like, Brock was, like, kind of green, in my opinion.
Yeah, because this was 2002.
Yeah, so, like, you could see that, like, because people said, they this was a botch or something like that, but Hardcore Holly has gone on to say that, like, him and Brock Lesnar get along really well, and it just was a freak accident, man. The dude got his neck broken. Holly's a tough son of a gun, so you know what, he was able to kind of just deal with it, man, and like he damn, like when you watch this, it looks pretty rough. Yeah,
exactly. Yet another one of those things where it's like these guys really put their lives on the line just for a paycheck.
I hope to God I never have a broken neck, because I don't want to know how that is, man.
No.
Because that just sounds very, like, bad, right?
Especially considering that, you can break your neck, but then you can also have a lot more damage as a result of the broken neck.
Well, what's the name? Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
Kurt Angle broke his neck, and then he never really got the surgery that he needed to. So, like, throughout his career, he kept breaking it. And so that's why he's kind of, like, messed up, based on, like, plus with the drug use and everything, because he kept just doing painkillers rather than, like, taking the time to recover after the surgery and stuff like that. He came back soon, messed up his body, because you can see him when he walks, he struggles, man.
Yeah. Didn't he just get released? Was he one of them?
Yeah, he released. Yeah, he got released. Shame, but the guy hopefully saved his money in wrestling, and he'll be okay, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. Top 2. This is number 2. And it is I'm Not Catching You, part 2.
Yes, and this was, so it was Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels.
At WrestleMania 25.
So remember, we had a botch between Taker and Shawn Michaels earlier.
Yes.
So this is another one. And this one, people say it was a great match, other than this one, right? Where, what happened here?
Yeah, he took out a cameraman and almost broke his own neck in the process.
Yeah, so apparently the cameraman was supposed to catch Taker when he jumped out of the ring.
The cameraman was supposed to catch him?
Apparently the cameraman was not in the right position or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I want to know, why was the cameraman supposed to be catching him?
Just part of the script, man, I guess, and Taker fell and, like, and he almost hurt himself.
Yeah, it says if you watch the clip, you can see Michaels grab the cameraman and appear to pull him into Taker's path.
Fortunately, we can't watch the video because it's copyright.
Oh.
You know, so it's blocked from being able to viewed.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, if you could have watched the clip, apparently that's what would have happened.
Yeah, it's a pretty gnarly one.
Mm-hmm.
Almost broke his neck, man, on that one, apparently. That would have been bad.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think that there could be a more fitting end to this countdown than with the botched division.
Yes, the botched division. So it is AJ Lee.
Number one.
She is married to CM Punk.
Yes.
So
this one is really good.
So it was against Natalya.
Wow, Natalya is wearing different ring gear there.
Yeah, she was kind of like similar to what she's wearing now.
No, now she wears that cat suit.
Oh yeah, but I mean, she's still wearing pants and then like a top, right?
Well, she's wearing like a bra top in this one, but now she wears that cat suit that really does nothing for her.
Yeah. Okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
like a latex jumpsuit.
Yeah, it's really hard to find her an outfit that makes it work for her. You know?
Yeah. She has a weird body type.
Yeah, you heard it from her, not me.
Well, just saying.
I mean, I think she's too short.
Well, you know what I think it is? Her torso is long and her legs are short.
Yeah.
So the proportion is weird, for what she's wearing. I feel like in this ring gear, she looks better, though.
Yes, I agree.
Because it gives the illusion of the legs looking longer than the torso.
Yeah, I agree. She looks better there. Because I definitely don't like her. I think she might be body conscious or something like that, right?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, guys. So that is number one. She taps out. And what happens here is that, basically Natalya, put her in the sharpshooter. And she starts tapping, and Natalya's not even, in...
Yeah, Natalya had, released the hold, and AJ Lee is tapping nothing, basically.
There's nothing there. And she still, taps out, man.
Yeah.
And it kind of goes to show you why we're calling them the botch division.
Yeah.
So that is the top 25 botches of WWE history.
Yeah.
In WWE history.
Of recent history, I think, right?
Well, I mean, we did go back a few years and stuff like that.
Yeah, okay. So, let's say the past 30 years. Because we didn't go to the 80s.
Yeah. Because then it would be, I think it's probably hard to find those clips.
Yeah,
it's part of the reason.
Exactly.
What do you guys think? Do you like our thing? Did you like our video? It's probably, super botched all over the place.
Did you like spending the time with us? Because you didn't have anything better to do. You might as well, right? Hopefully you had a drink, and maybe you took a drink every time that we botched this video.
Wrestling is fun. It should never be taken too seriously. Hopefully you guys loved this, and if you like what we're doing, make sure to subscribe, give us a like, and then share this with all your wrestling fans that you know of. And thanks for watching this episode of
Wrestle Pop.